Welcome to today's Cabinet meeting. This is not a public meeting, but a meeting that the public can attend. I'm Ros Jones, Mayor of Doncaster, and I'd like to welcome you all to today's meeting. Before we commence proceedings, I'd like to outline the domestic arrangements for the meeting. We are not expecting a fire practice. Should the alarm sound, please leave the building by the exits marked and assemble the other side of the water in front of CAST. By entering the council chamber, you are accepting that you will be recorded and your images will be retained and broadcast by the council. If anyone intends to record today's meeting, please ensure that this does not disturb the conduct of the meeting, and please ensure that your mobile phones are switched to silent mode, please. Thank you. I'll commence the meeting. Item 1, apologies for absence. I've received apologies from Debbie. Are there any further apologies, please? Rachel Blake, please. And Damien Allen.
Rihanna Nelson.
Thank you. Item 2, exclusions of the public and press. There are no items where the public and press are to be excluded. Is that agreed? Item 3, public statements and questions. We have no public questions or statements today. Item 4, declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest, please? No. Item 5, decision records for the meeting held on the 11th of October. These have been previously circulated and are for noting only. Is that agreed, please? Item 6, equitable and inclusive access to education for all. I will invite Councillor Lanny Mayball, Cabinet Member for Hurley Help, Education, Skills and Young People.
Thank you, Chair. Doncaster, like most areas across the country, has seen a significant rise in the presenting needs of children and young people since the start of the pandemic. Our special needs strategy, which was approved at Cabinet November last year, and our Delivering Better Value programme have set out our initial response to the challenges in our special needs and inclusion systems. Since November 2022, we have worked hard to reshape the local landscape of provision and ensure a fairer and more equitable system, including the additional investment identified in this report. We have strengthened processes and practice, and we are delivering the ambitious changes highlighted in the SEND strategy. This paper presents an update on those changes and highlights some of the initial impacts that we are making, despite the ongoing challenges that we are seeing. This paper also sets out the next phase of our developments, which will ensure a fairer and more equitable system and enable our children and young people to get the right support at the right time. I would like members to note the impact of the work already undertaken through the SEND strategy, whilst also supporting further changes. The changes that we are already making include opening 40 places of specialist provision for children with social, emotional and mental health needs. These provisions will open in spring 2024. We have also created several projects where we have funded schools to make enhanced provision in areas with high levels of need, alongside increasing the number of places in specialist schools. We have supported more youngsters into local provision, where otherwise they would be educated outside of Doncaster, whilst also improving our scrutiny of the funding decisions in order to increase fairness. We are revising all local processes around identifying needs and funding in order to develop a fairer and more consistent level of practice across schools and settings. And we've also got a programme of training, support and challenge to schools and settings that accompany this. The report also sets out the future changes that we are intending to make, and these include the development of a new inclusion charter for education providers, services and businesses, and this will commit partners to a clear set of principles and ambitions that will help build a consistent level of provision and support across the city. This charter will also seek support for the building of relational practice in all settings and environments where children and young people receive provision. Delivering a new graduated approach to meeting need so that services and funding support children at an earlier stage. This includes the development of a new integrated assessment pathway which will allow multidisciplinary teams to provide intensive support and direction before situations reach a point of crisis. And we are also creating more places to support children and young people at the time when they really need it. So we're adding more places in our successful Key Stage 4 employability provision and in our big picture learning alternative provision. And this will allow more young people to get support at the right time without the need for a placement outside of Doncaster. Our new model of provision has the support of key stakeholders in our local system, including parents and young people's voice groups. We know that if we intervene earlier to support our young people, their needs can be understood and met in a way that which relieves pressure on families, and it's also more cost effective. So I ask members to support the approach and the model that has been set out in this paper so that we're able to continue our changes at pace and to greatly enhance the lives and prospects of our children and young people. Thank you.
Colleagues, any statements, questions, please? Phil?
Thank you, Mayor. I welcome the report, and I hope members agree with the concerns that have been raised that local authorities are vital to the delivery of special educational needs and disabilities provision, and yet for the last 4 years local authorities have overspent dramatically on this. They have been underfunded year on year on year. It means that these children and young people are not getting the services that they deserve to maximise their potential and to fully include them in society. And although last year the government increased funding by 780 million, the Local Government Association say there is still an ongoing deficit of £600 million across the country. And as this report shows, we consistently overspend by several £million a year to meet these needs. And we really need it to be a national priority for a change. And there was no mention of it in the King's speech yesterday. And it would have been a real joy if the government had actually said this is going to be a national priority.
Thank you, Phil. Yes.
Thank you, Ross. I just think it's a really positive report in terms of some of the work that we're doing in partnership with other schools, but also in terms of obviously Vega College and big picture learning. I think what it does show, and I mean it's already been highlighted by my colleague here in terms of the rampant underfunding, certainly that local authorities across Britain are facing in regard to this. What it does show is that some of the work that so, you know, you look at Stonehill School and Coppice School and some of the stuff that's being done to bring kids with additional needs back into Doncaster, which the closer and nearer to the family and the support network is really positive. So even though there is massive issues around underfunding, and we know it's a national issue, but obviously, you know, we're concerned with Doncaster. It's good to see that the officers and Doncaster Council are thinking outside of the box and working with partners and schools to try and buck that trend and do the best they can for the kids in Doncaster. So thank you very much for that.
No one else is raising hand. But if we actually look, this new approach and the model, which is the recommended model, and I'll read the reasons for the recommended option, is the activities described within the report will allow children and young people's needs to be understood and met earlier, thereby minimising frustration for families and schools, and it will also deliver greater join-up between services. The overall impact of this work will be to ensure greater consistency at the earliest stages of intervention, reducing the need to make more expensive provision at a later point. As importantly, if we're always actually getting at the very start and assist at the commencement, it will stop problems occurring further down the line. So I'm delighted to see this report. So with that, I'll read out the recommendations that are within the report. And that is 1, to note and comment on the changes implemented to date and the impact, and 2, approve the future overall approach detailed in the report, including both the strategic intent and new provision extension identified in paragraph 22 and financial implications, including the impact on future savings and cost avoidance. This is actually demonstrating that we here in Doncaster look at all the different alternatives and actually seek to pioneer at times to bring the best for our children and young people. Can you actually approve those recommendations, colleagues? Approved. Seconded? Therefore, they are agreed. That now concludes the items that's on the agenda today. I would like to thank everyone for their attendance and input, and I'll now close the meeting. Thank you.